On part 2 of my conversation with Finsco CEO John Mwaura, I started by asking him why landowners are converting farmland into real estate developments.
Since dynamics are changing and the issues are changing within the ecosystem that we are living, the best advice that we normally giving them is probably if you're sitting on a parcel of land, let us try to look at economic value of that land. Let's say it's full of coffee, it's full of, or any other thing, any other plantation. Try to understand where is the location of that land and where is the government going. Government going include people. Where are people going to live? Like where we are right now, is just some few minutes to Thika town. You can walk to Thika town. So basically, you know, in the next so many years to come, this place you might not even get land because people are so many and they want to live near town. But some of these people, what we normally advise them, since probably they are in agricultural land and it is probably in a certain plantation, there are some other good places with a very good environment, some idle land, and people are selling those lands. Yeah? And I can give you a very good example, like this is Muranga County. You might go and find some very big parcels of land which are selling as low as 3 million. Very red soil, near the river, even 600, 1,000 acres, they are there. But you can find another land, if you are selling this land at, if that land is going for 3 million, as equally as better, like this one, but this one, you can sell double. Maybe you can make 6 million in 1 acre, and still you want to do agriculture. Why can't you sell this one, that is in agriculture, and go and replace with a similar one? And you still have some money to do some other things. So what I normally tell them, because money might not always be available to buy for big parcel of land, I want to encourage them to embrace joint ventures. A joint venture is whereby you as a land vendor, we as a developer, we sit down and agree. All the monies are not available. You are holding that title. Probably I could be having some customers who trust us. And there's a commercial transaction that we can enter into, and the money and there's an escrow account between us, you, and the bank, and we enter into that one, whereby you're going to be releasing your land partially as we continue.
He added that land being a factor of production should not be left unattended. Instead, as the landowner waits for price appreciation, the piece of land can be used for other income-generating activities.
I think at a county and at the national level, I think we require a whole land conversation, as you call it in your show. Because land is a factor of production. And in Kenya, basically we raise a lot of money, about 70% of the money that government have today, 70% come from levies and taxes and such. Some of the levies and taxes are the ones that are generated from the real estate. Especially if you look, agriculture used to contribute about 45% of our GDP. Currently, if you look even from the website, you can tell we are somewhere at about 29%. So it has really gone down. What has really made some of these things to go down? And I want to answer you with one, so that as you come to the land matter, you understand where the problem is. Really, Anne, you're very aware we have a constitution that we passed in 2010. And today, agriculture is devolved. It's a devolved function. And it's devolved at the county level. But now, the amount of money that is paid from the national government and distributed to county level, almost over 80 to 85% of most of the county, it goes towards recurrent expenditure. That means the only money that is remaining for development is basically less than 15%. That money includes agriculture, health, education, and so many other roads and everything. Now, if I ask, if we are only having 15%, how are we going to have issues with the food security sorted? How are we going to have other matters revolving how we are going to rebuild our economy coming from COVID-19, which you know very well, from 2020, 2021, we had a very big hole, a very big gap that was left by COVID.
The real estate industry in Kenya continues to contribute a significant percentage to Kenya's gross domestic product.
The chairman, Council of Governors, And all the players at the RAD, be it the National RAD Commission, be it the Ministry of RAD, let's have a whole RAD conference and all the governors sit together and address and sit down and see how are we going to raise money as a country. Because if real estate is contributing between 8 to 11 to 12% of our GDP, currently we're having about 11, maybe I want to call it about 110 billion US dollars GDP. But I can tell you about 8 to 10% of that one come from real estate. So if there's a problem at the county level, then you know at the national level, the money that's supposed to come will not come. Why? Why am I saying this? When I sell this RAD to a customer, that customer is supposed to pay stamp duty. And basically for a residential, it's about 4%. Me, as a developer, or any other person as a developer, they pay, if it's an agricultural RAD, about 2%. Then, the person who normally receives the money, that's a RAD vendor, they will pay capital gain. When all this money comes to a developer, since they're in business, they will pay income tax. And the employees that you have, they will pay payee. And when this money comes to the economy, it will build our economy. So if at the county level, someone seated at the county does not understand the whole of that ecosystem, there will be a problem.
Involving citizens in decision-making processes on land matters at the county level ensures that they have a chance to decide what the county should prioritize.
Do they really understand when a whole approval is held at the county, the impact on it, or the effect on it on the economy? If it's a project like 200, 300 acres, going for me 2-3 billion shillings, it's supposed to help our economy grow. How are we going to help it when the governor and the people who are there, probably there are some issues? What do we do? It's a problem. First thing first, these matters concerning public participation, it cannot be done with a lot of jokes. Me, I can tell you for free, since we started Matters Real Estate, I've only been called once. And they called me because they know me, because we know each other. That publishing of people to understand, there is a public participation. Why do public participation happen? We also don't want to have something where the general people do not understand. Like for instance, you can have a RAD like this one. There's another one having another 100 acres there. Another one having 50 acres there. But when you want to go present your issues at the county level, they talk to you as if they don't understand. There's another school here. There's another hospital there. There's another nursery there. There's another police station there. They want you to put it in your RAD. To serve how many people? We look at the population. That is why in our RAD, in all RAD, we should have a physical planner.
Despite a long history of urban planning, Kenyan towns are still characterized by informality and coordinated development, urban sprawl and congestion.
If you look at the master plan that we have today, in most of the county, we require planning because we are growing as a country. The population of Kenyans, today we are at 55 million Kenyans. I can tell you, Ridian, we are growing at a 1.2 to 1.4 million every year. So in the next 10 years to come, we are going to have about 15 million. These 15 million, where are they going to live? And if you want to know there's a problem, I want you to look at Thika Road. Thika Road, if you look at both sides of the road, people live there. But you look at the way the road is planned, I think it was planned as if people are only moving and moving and moving. So you find that if people are living here, but they're not considered when that road was done. So there was no proper public participation. People are living around Thika Road. There are so many estates around Thika Road, but people have to suffer a lot. To travel a lot, you cause traffic jams unnecessary. People have to go very far. I give a very good example. Roiru. There's a bridge that is there. People normally call it Paregwa Cairo. There's a Spamor, there's a Nibs, there's what. Do you know the people that live along that route? All the way, all these routes, Murera and others, they have to go through that small bridge. It requires planning.
Most areas where developers are looking at do not have sewer connections.
My prayer is for us to be able to support the agenda of the government on affordable housing. The government agenda is not to build houses, but it is to create a enabling environment for people to do houses. One is about the sewer system. This is where we are, there's no sewer line. That means we can only sit down here, people, and do some biodigester, all those kind of things. You can imagine the entire of this area, nothing. Not even here. Go to places like Karwai. Go to places like Juja. And all the people who are living around that, Kamuru, all that area, no sewer system. People are living there in hundreds of thousands, but there are no sewer system. One government come, another one come, and there is no sewer system. That is problem number one. If we can only first of all sort that issue of sewer and the issue of water, about electricity, we can sort ourselves with Kenya Power. So it is the responsibility of the same government to understand if we have maybe 20,000 people living in a certain area. Do they require sewer? Yes. Do they require water? Yes. How long can people wait for them to have sewer? And so that even when you are planning as a developer, you plan knowing next year when I start my project, government will have passed sewer along my. But today, you can't predict. We as a developer, I can tell you for free, we cannot predict. We are only praying. I pray how I wish my government can do this. How I wish my government. So because you cannot keep on saying how the government, I owe everything the government, we end up doing biodigesters, which are very expensive. Yeah. To do a house, a biodigester costs between 150 to 300,000. But if a sewer passes there, it will cost someone maybe between 50 to 80,000 shillings to do a sewer line.
Questions also abound over the issue of squatters on privately owned land.
90% of all those issues concerning squatters are artificial. Those are schemes. They are done by professional people. You realize there is a rad here belonging to a certain cooperative, but because they are not there, you go and tell people to go and settle there, and you give them money to go and do some mabati houses. Then, when you realize or an information comes to you that there are some people on your land and you want to go and to remove them, they go to court. But because of freedom of expression, human rights, chapter 4 of the Constitution, someone will go to court. And they go to court, you are stopped from doing any land transaction because they are squatters. And these are not actual squatters. These are artificial people. They are being brought by people there. And that's an issue I'm praying for National Land Commission, even our county commissioners. Try to sort out those issues with the chief, because the chief can tell you who belongs here.
Kiambu and Muranga counties are endowed with huge resources ranging from rich agricultural land to industries and most recently real estate developers.